Welcome back to Visual Basic Programming. A little while ago we did the calculator program form. Now we have to code it in order for it to work. So we click on the calculator program. As I had mentioned in the last video, you click on this calculator program file. When it opens up, we'll have the form that we created earlier. If you notice, everything that we've done is here. Now if you run a program, you click on Start, and this is a program in Run, and this is a program in Design. Looks pretty much the same. Okay, now say we entered a number, and then we clicked enter number 2, and we entered number 10, and we wanted to add it. Nothing is coming into the answer. If we wanted to subtract it, multiply it, divide it, or clear it, nothing is happening. And this is because we have not put any coding into the program to tell it what it's supposed to do. It doesn't know that it has to add unless we tell it it does. Let's start with the add button. Just a quick reminder, the add button is called, this is form 1, the button add is named button 1 as before. So if you click on add, it takes you to the coding. When you look at the coding, the public class and the end class includes the entire form, but we just clicked on button 1. Let me just run this very quickly. Well, I'll do that soon. We clicked on button 1, and what did we want to do? Let's go back to the form. We want to add text box 1 plus text box 2 to give us the answer in text box 3. Whenever you do mathematical equations, the answer is always on the left side of the equal sign, so therefore our formula would be text box 3 equals text box 1 plus text box 2. So we'll go back to this add, and we'll write text box 1, oops, have to go backspace, dot text equals text box 1 dot text plus text box 2 dot text. I made a mistake here. This should have started as I had mentioned with where the answer is located, text box 3. So here we have text box 3 dot text equals text box 1 dot text plus text box 2 dot text. So if we go back to the form and we run this, let's see what happens. Text box 1 is, we'll put 12 here, and we'll put 2 12s there. And enter number 2, let's start again. We'll put a 12 in text box 1. Text box 2, we'll put a 10, and we add them, and then the answer we get 12, 10. It's putting them side by side. The reason for this is that these things are called text boxes. These are the objects called text boxes, and they do carry text that is usually not considered numeric. So what we have to do to change this is we have text box 1 plus, then we'll do a positive text box 2 dot text. Now when we go back to add it, we have the 12, and then we put in the 10, and we add it, it would become 22. In the future, we will not add text boxes or do any calculation with them. We will change them to numeric variables. But at this point, I'm just, I want to show you, give you an idea how this works. Let's go back to the form 2. If we did subtract, all we have to do is copy this, right click on, whoops, try this again. Copy it. And then we go to paste it. And the only difference here is we have to change a sign to a subtraction. Text box 1, notice the spacing here. When I push the enter, it will space give you the proper spacing. There we go. So now if we take a look at the subtraction, we'll go back to the form, we'll start the program. So if we use 12, down here we put a 12. For text box 2, we're adding and we're able to subtract. The next one would be multiply. You do the exact same thing that we did. You double click on the multiply and you put the routine in. We can't do it while it's running. You have to stop the run and go to the original form. So for the multiply, you could copy and paste in button 3, which is multiply, except you change this to a multiply sign, which is the asterisk over the number 8. Then when you're doing the divide, you do the same thing, except you use a backslash for the divide. And just a quick thing to show you, this is the program. Here's a calculate form. So add was button 1, and this is a private subroutine called button 1. Then we did button 2, which was subtract, and the private subroutine is called button 2. And you only had to click on each of these buttons one time in order to do the calculations. If you wanted to have the user do a double click, see where it says click here? You would drop down and do a different action. In this case, you would use a double click. But click works well for us now. Let's go back to the form. So when you've completed this, there's one more thing I wanted to show you, which is a clear button. That was our button number 5. So we want to clear